Good morning. Welcome to the WEX Wakeup for Thursday, November 16th. I'm Christy Matino. The Senate passed a short-term spending bill Wednesday night to avoid a government shutdown. Easily voting for the funding bill the House approved just the day before.
This Friday night, there will be no government shutdown. Because of bipartisan cooperation, we are keeping the government open without any poison pills or harmful cuts to vital programs.
The 87-11 vote guarantees that Congress will avoid the holiday time crunch. Senate Democrats wanted an extension into early December, but ultimately agreed to funding into January and February, after House Speaker Mike Johnson introduced a bill free of spending cuts or policy riders. Now, the White House has indicated it will sign the bill into law before a Friday midnight deadline. And U.S. Capitol Police officers clashed with Palestinian protesters outside of the DNC headquarters Wednesday night after they tried to pepper spray police officers and break into that building. U.S. Capitol Police officers made arrests outside of the Democratic National Committee's headquarters in Washington, D.C. after 150 illegal and violent protesters gathered outside the building. 7 members of Congress were inside the DNC when they were told to evacuate, and it's not clear how many people were arrested, but they were calling for a ceasefire and were supporting Palestinians in the war between Hamas and Israel. But those protesters are now saying that they feel as though they were the ones who were violently attacked. Take a listen.
We were met with intense police brutality. I was brutally thrown down the steps with multiple people in front of me, on top of me. People were maced and pepper sprayed.
And President Joe Biden says he and Chinese President Xi Jinping will open a direct hotline of communication in the coming months. This comes after the two leaders held a meeting in San Francisco on Wednesday on the fringes of the 2023 APEC summit. The two leaders announced a preliminary agreement to try and slow the flow of fentanyl precursors to the United States and to reopen military-to-military communication.
Just talking, just being blunt with one another so there's no misunderstanding as a key element to maintaining global stability and delivering for the American people.
China had previously broken off talks with the Pentagon following former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's trip to Taiwan back in 2022. And despite worsening tensions between the two nations, Biden aimed to strengthen the U.S.-China relationship. However, when the president was asked after that meeting if he still thinks Xi Jinping is a dictator, here was his response.
He is. I mean, he's a dictator in the sense that he is a guy who runs a country that is a communist country that's based on a form of government totally different than ours.
Thanks so much for joining us this morning on the WEX Wake Up. Be sure to give us a follow online and on social media so you stay in the know of all those headlines trending in politics.